Arnavda, then Ganesh sir.
You
Yes,
know me
Ganesh
also.
sir. Yeah, Are. Absolutely.
Yeah, hi Deepakji.
Hi, Arnavda. Hi.
Hi, hi.
I think Arnavda.
Okay. Yes, you know Arnob, you know Radha, you know uh, Sharmishta. We all did
Mm,
a quantum coaching session
oh,
together.
yes.
So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session of letting go and the impact of shadow. I understand that most of you are from Magic of Change, and many of you are not from Magic of Change. Some of you are not from Magic of Change, but that's okay. Why letting go and impact of shadow before I embark on that? And what is letting go and embark on impact of shadow? Let's get into the practice of a small affirmation of gratitude. Thank you, Sharmishta. Thank you so much. And we start by closing our eyes, settling down, take a deep breath, and for a moment, thank the Mother Universe for providing us everything that we have with us, that we had with us, that we will have with us. Let us also express our gratitude to each and everyone with whom we come across, we meet every day, the vegetable seller, the cab pilot, the small boy who passes in front of us, dancing and playing on the streets, our family members, friends, neighbors, and everyone whom we know and whom we do not know. Let us express our gratitude for the days where the sun shines and when it rains, when it's cloudy, when it's dark, and when it's bright. Our gratitude to Mother Universe for giving us everything that we need, everything that we have, and everything that others have. In this world, it has no meaning to be just the self, but to be self and to be reunited with everyone, including the universe. And with that in mind, just some moments of silence, expressing our gratitude the way we want to. Om Shanti. Thank you and welcome. Before I get into letting go, I think let go is a word which we hear so often and most of us practice so often, right? Uh, as we know, there are 2 million bits of information that... Okay. So we know that millions of bits of information reaches us every moment, and we can process only 7 plus minus 2 informations at any point of time. That's the first process of letting go, right? So when we receive information from the 5 senses, through the 5 senses, and we process it, we do let go a lot of information. And letting go starts over there. Without letting go, I think this world would have been very difficult to stay. Now, why letting go and what is the impact of shadow that we have in our life? If we can just open up and just say, what do you think what letting go is all about? What do you think when you hear the word letting go? It's a very powerful word for me. What does it mean for you? And let it be interactive, because to be very frank, we do let go every moment, and yet we hold on to so much. We hold on to the light and we hold on to the shadow. We hold on to the Krishna, we hold on to the Radha, right? And we hold on to Ram and Ravan, Sita and Lakshman. We hold on to so many things, but we let go of the demons and of the gods also, which is within us. So what does letting go mean to you?
To me, it means freeing myself of something which is not doing good to me.
It is not doing good to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Letting go.
Yeah, for me, the things which are not significant for me, so allow to let go them, or not positive, not negative. Negative, so definitely allow. Moreover, if it's not significant to me, so allow them to let go.
Okay. Which is not significant for you to let go. Okay. I'll just note down these points. Okay. So Shanchari said, whatever is not helpful. That's what you said, Shanchari?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Shopna said, what is not significant to her, she would let go. What else?
For me, it is to live in the present moment, is letting go of everything, anything.
Being in the present. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Kavita. Okay. Anyone else?
So Partho, that to me, letting go is a way of life, to have a peaceful life.
Okay. And what does it mean to you?
Sometimes it is better to letting go so that I can live my
What does
life.
letting go mean to you?
Just to forget.
Just to forget. Okay. Forget things. Okay. Fair enough, or no? Okay.
Letting go for me would mean not allowing something that was bothersome to me before
Okay.
remain bothersome. So they might be there, I might remember them, but they are not bothering.
They're not bothering. They might be there,
Yeah.
but they're not bothering. So I can.
I can go on with my life with peacefulness.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, Partha. Let's be very selective.
Let's be very selective.
Yeah, we use our filters.
Okay.
Specific
So
filters.
you use your filters, Deepak.
Filters, and I keep all the garbages. I keep all the garbages away from me.
Garbages away from. Okay. Great. Okay. And in the meantime, welcome Deepa and Dr. Purni. Okay. Garbages away from me. Fair enough. Okay. So those who just joined, we were just discussing what is letting go. What does letting go mean for you? So anyone wants to add something? So we had what is not helpful, what is not significant, being in the present, forget, not bothersome, which is bothering you now. We will not allow that to bother us, although it might stay with us. We'll not allow it to bother us, which probably means acceptance, right? Probably means acceptance. Put garbages away from me. Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, I heard.
For me, it can be shredding also.
It can be
Shredding.
shredding. Okay. Okay, shredding.
To me,
Shredding and
it could
ignoring
be
also.
Ignoring.
Yeah.
Shredding and ignoring. Okay.
to me it could be feeling indifferent about.
Feeling indifferent. I'll just stop sharing so that I can see everyone. Feeling indifferent. Who said that?
Joita.
Joita. Feeling indifferent. Okay. So it's there. It does not bother me. Okay. Fine. Anyone else wants to add? Anyone else?
Yeah, it's releasing attachment,
Releasing attachment.
And also, I mean, all others have said, so from that, embracing uncertainty is also a kind of letting go.
Okay. Embracing uncertainty. Okay.
Yeah. And also foregoing the need for control.
Foregoing the need for control. Very well said. Foregoing the need for control. Need to control. Okay.
Yeah, need to control.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I meant attachment, it came of all limiting beliefs. Basically, we get into awareness, and then with that loop, we let go of anything which is limiting us
Wonderful.
and help others. Yeah, that's
Wonderful.
yeah.
Okay, someone else unmuted and wanted to say something.
Yeah,
Coach
Partha.
Yes, Dr.
According to me, it is moving forward, letting go and moving forward.
Okay, something else comes with it. Moving forward and letting go. We'll discuss that. Very interesting. Yes, Shormishta.
Yeah, for me, letting go is that I have thoughts, but I will not follow those thoughts with further thinking on it.
Okay.
So for me, that is letting go.
Okay.
Thoughts come, I
Hmm.
just let them go on. For me, that
Very
is
good.
letting go.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Very nice. Great. I think we have had some brilliant sharings. We have some brilliant sharings, right? The sharings that came was, I'll just repeat them. And some of them really, I think all the sharings, they mean an everyday doings for us, which is not helpful, let it go. What is not significant, let it go. Being in the present, don't be in the past. Don't ruminate. That's what Kavita meant. Forget. Along with it, there is another word which comes to my mind, if I may add, which is forgive. Not bothersome, which was bothering me, which is with me, but it will not be bothersome anymore. I will not allow it. So I have a choice. Letting go is a choice. Now, most of us have been in NLP, and in NLP, what we say is the NLP teaches us to have more choices. When we have more choices, we have more options, and it is our conscious mind which can choose. However, because we are in the auto mode most of the time and unconscious rules prevails, we are in a pattern of habit of accepting things, of letting go things, or whatever it is. So it's all about choice, which came up very clearly from what Krishanu said, Deepak Bhai said, shredding, ignoring what I think Chandrani said, Joyita said, to be indifferent. I choose to be indifferent. Releasing attachment, Lakshmi. Now these words, attachment, I will come to details with it. What we mean by attachment, what do we mean by double binds? If you have heard the word, right? Double binds. What it means by burdens? What are burdens to us? And how we can let go of the burden? Is it a burden or is it a responsibility? Just a responsibility. We'll talk about it. And Dr. Purni said, moving forward. Now, if you see moving forward, which means prior to moving forward, there was something which was pulling me back if I...
Yes, correct.
Right. Shomo, it's already recorded, so I'm declining, right? It's already recorded and streamed in the YouTube, so you can see from there.
Dada, I have a question here. I am not sure if it is like, you know, foolish or not, but talking about forgetting and forgiving. Forgiving is something which we definitely need to do for our own peace. But if we forget, then rather than forgetting, a lesson learned would be better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, we come to NLP's presupposition. There is no failure, only feedback. And there is no pain. There is no pain, I wouldn't say. There is pain, but learning also. In fact, if you see what pains us or painful memories or sad memories, sadness, grief is a must for life. Suffering is a must for life, right? If you have read the books of Martin Seligman, he first wrote a book called Learned Optimism. And this learned optimism says that suffering is a must in life. And what you need to learn is how to be optimistic, right? Life has not promised you happiness all around. Life has not promised you a bed of roses or a path of roses. There will be thorns. It is you who will have to pick out the thorns, throw them away, and then move ahead. And there will be sufferings. There will be bleeding, right? So forgetting is something which has been mentioned by someone. And I would say, yes, learning is a great word. Learning, we can learn. We can learn from our experience. A 17-year-old boy who has had a breakup with his girlfriend might be finding it very difficult to let go and to break the attachment. Now, when it comes to attachment, or when it comes to hurts, when it comes to double binds, when it comes to burdens, that's what we have to let go. We'll go into and understand what are attachments, what are hurts, what are burdens. One more thought which came to my mind when Dr. Purni said that moving forward is that attachment is something which is very necessary in life. But the Buddhist philosophy also says that non-attachment to something or to everything might be the way of, having a solace or peaceful life, which might not be possible, which might be possible. I don't want to get into a debate with it, but non-attachment is something which is very important. And we practice non-attachment also very often in our daily lives. And Sharmishta said, we have thoughts. We have 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts. That's the number that comes to our mind every day. So even if you say 12,000 thoughts, which means if you're awake for 16 hours, it means almost 800 to 900 thoughts per hour. Now, 900 to 1,000 thoughts per hour, most of them are repetitive. Most of them are not helpful. Most of them are negative. Some of them are positives, and some of them we put into action. We selectively put them into action. Now, just to share with you what letting go definition is about. So letting go is a process of releasing attachments to things that no longer serve you and accepting what is. If there is a relationship breakup, we might wish that if I would have been near to the person whom I was longing for, or I have spent 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years together, but is it serving you? Is it giving you pain? Is it giving you happiness? Is it giving you the desired light? Or is it providing you the darkness that you don't want? And very often, we are attached to darkness also. Very often, we are attached to pain also. Now, what is pain? What is darkness? Sometimes we love pain. The best creations have happened from the loss of a near one, from the breakup of relationships, right? The best creations come when there is darkness. The best creations come when there is lesser light and more darkness. And also we are aware that joy and pain is a continuum. It's not static. Now, keeping that in mind, let us understand, get into the depth of what letting go is all about. Now, what do you mean by attachment? What is attachment for you? What is attachment? Prerna, any thought? Prerna, you have been there, but I have not seen you on video. So if you are there, if you can just share, what is attachment for you or anyone? What is attachment according to you?
For me, Partha, it is accepting.
Attachment is accepting. Okay. Accepting someone. Okay. Fine.
Attachment is something that has a control over me. I have a wish or I have a desire for control, or somehow that I am attached to has effect on me. I feel fear of loss if it is gone, or some similar kind of emotions. So I am anxious, I am worried, and all kinds of things. If there is a way of losing that, something like that, there is a possessiveness involved, that this is mine.
Correct. Absolutely. So thank you, Krishanu. Anyone else wants to share what attachment? What are we attached to?
We are attached to our unfulfilling desire. Like if you're connected to someone, so there is a cause to attach with someone, with emotionally, physical, emotional, social. So attachment, we can say it's a kind of like attaching with the your puzzle, the one side of the puzzle to the another to fulfill that joint or to complete that joint.
Okay. So unfulfilled needs, we are attached to desires.
It's a kind of
Attachment is
Sharmishta, if you can go on mute, please. Thank you.
So, I think attachment is something which happens without our knowledge most of the time. And it is more about, it gives a feel-good factor. It is fulfilling. When we are attached to something or someone, somewhere it it gives us some kind of a happiness, or maybe if it gives us some kind of a pain also, maybe a little kind of a sadistic pleasure, we may say, for some people, or yeah, somewhere that is where attachment, because at times for me, I have seen that I can understand this attachment is not doing good, but it is getting difficult to letting go. So maybe I'm somewhere, I don't realize, but I'm enjoying the pain which is coming along.
Right. Okay.
Parthuda, for
Just
me, attached.
Chandrani, before you start, can we go to Sharmishta? Sharmishta has raised her hand for some
Please,
time.
please.
Yes, Sharmishta.
Yeah, Parthuda, for me, attachment is that which is something, the thought of which losing that thing brings me emotional disturbance.
Okay.
For me, that is attachment.
Okay.
Attachment is not towards things which give me fulfillment. For me, I'm talking about myself. For me, which give me fulfillment, satisfaction. For me, those are there. I mean, I'm happy with those. And I kind of, I don't take them for granted, but I'm comfortable there. For me, attachment is always a kind of an emotional threat, that I may, if I lose it, and there is fear to it. And that is what my attachments are.
Fear of losing out or fear of missing out.
Yeah. Yes.
Either follow
Of
or
something, some specific things or, situations. For me, when I cannot let go of that, that is attachment.
Okay.
No matter how hard I try, I'm not being able to let go of that. That fear. It has got nothing to do with happiness and satisfaction. I do not have that letting go or any threat over there. Where the threat is would be, I might lose it. So attachment.
Okay. There
For
are
me, rather, it's an unhealthy kind of an attachment. Yeah.
unhealthy. Acha. So, so we will come to that. We'll delve into that, whether attachments are always unhealthy. We'll come to that.
No, I was speaking for myself alone. That
Fair,
is the way
absolutely,
things are with me.
absolutely, fair. So Prem mentioned that attachments can be short-lived or long-lived. Enjoying a very good meal when consuming is also an attachment, not always to do a human bonding. Okay, Prem. I think that's very, very important. That's very important. Okay, let me go to Lakshmi now, and then we will get into.
For me, the meaning what I carry is attachment is generally an emotional bond and connection which we form with people in any relationships, objects, things, ideas, process. So it's an emotional connection, emotional bond and a connection. That's an attachment for me.
Okay, so that's a attachment for you. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Parthuda, I would also
Yes,
like
Chandra.
to share.
Yes, Chandra.
For
Please.
me, attachment is something, which is mutual, which is something with mutual respect. I would like to attach when things are.
With a person?
Yes, I'm talking about relationships. It's more, it has to be on a mutual, it has to be on.
Okay.
Like if I get control, I'll allow control, something like this.
Okay, fair. So what we understood is that attachment is not always about human relationships. It can be relationship with anything. And let me also share with you, addiction is also an attachment. And primarily when we see that addictions are related to relationships, a lot of times, a lot of parents come to me and also a lot of adults come to me regarding their mobile addiction. Now, whenever I hear about mobile addiction or any addiction, I think of a void that is there in their life and which they are wanting to fulfill through this addiction, which can be mobile browsing, surfing, or anything else. Maybe smoking, maybe drinking. That's a relationship. I'm not talking of a habit. I'm talking of an addiction. Now, whenever there is an addiction, if you see the picture, now those who have done metaphors of movement, they would know that there is a string attached to me, and at the other end of the string, there is an attachment, either it is smoking or a person or someone else or a rock or a pipe or someone that we are fastened to. That's might allow us to move forward or might not allow us to move forward, depending on how strong the attachment is or how disciplined or indisciplined the attachment is. Now, what do I mean by discipline? The other person on the other side of attachment or the substance on the other side of attachment says that I will not let you move ahead. Or I would say flexible and inflexible or rigid. When this other person says or the other substance says, I'm not allowing you to move forward, that's when the movement is restricted. Otherwise, there are attachments which allow us to move forward. Now, attachments can be voluntary and involuntary. Now, what do we mean by voluntary and involuntary? If there is a neighbor who stays beside me, next to me, when I go and talk to him, build a relationship with him, that becomes voluntary. But a mother and child relationship is very much involuntary. And the attachments which are involuntary are very, very difficult to break because they come into the auto mode or the autopilot mode. Now, when we see the definition of letting go, right, we also see that no longer serves you. Now, how do we know what no longer serves us? How do you know that it no longer serves us? Any thoughts on that? So the first thing is that it no longer serves us and we need to let go of that. So any thoughts on that? Lakshmi. Sharmishta, yes. Sharmishta, yes, please unmute.
Yes. Yeah, but like you just said just now, something that is not allowing me to move forward.
Okay.
You just said that attachments can be of two kinds, one that allows me to move forward and one that does not. Okay. The thing that is at the other end of the string. So
okay, you need to let go that. You need to let go that.
I need to let go that. Yeah. Because it's not doing good to me or to anyone else for that matter. So
which
carrying
means,
it around.
Sharmishta, that if someone keeps you in a stuck mode, that's the attachment which you might be wanting to let go or relax or be flexible with it, right? Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yes. You put it beautifully. Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah. Dr. Purni. Yes, Dr. Purni. Okay, I think she is not being able to unmute or she cannot. Anyone else? Yes, Dr. Purni, I was calling your name. Please unmute. Okay. Anyone else wants to share?
I would like to share, Pushpata.
Yes.
If something is not allowing us to operate freely, then there is a very strong attachment there. That's what I feel.
Yes. And what would you want to do with it? What would you want to do with it, Doctor?
Consciously just observe, first of all, what is happening. Because if I say I don't want, if I resist that too much, then it's going to become even more stronger.
Absolutely. Whatever you resist, persist. I agree.
Yes.
Now, there are two things which has come up now. One is the unconscious part, which is the conscious part. Most of the attachments which are involuntary are part of our unconscious strategy. The voluntaries are most of the conscious strategy which takes over. Now, whatever is unconscious and involuntary, it is difficult for us and we need to understand them to let it go. The first choice is awareness. We come to very important and interesting, I think many of you have heard of it, the Kubler-Ross. The Kubler-Ross cycle. Now, the Kubler-Ross cycle is an attachment or the burden. And also we can let go of the burdens that we carry. It's not only attachment. It can be double binds. Many people have come to me or they speak about, I've read in books, or they speak to each other, my father, my parents, my husband, my wife, or someone in the past is responsible for what I am suffering today. And if we listen to them, right, at a very young age, there might have been double binds. Now, what is double bind? Double binds are situations where someone tells you, please don't do that, or I will punish you. There is a fear which gets into the mind of the person that if I do it, there will be a consequence. If I don't do it, there will be a consequence. And there might be situations where if I want to do it or not do it, I still will have to do the other part of it, which is just the reverse of it. That's a double bind. Double bind helps in the organizations where the supervisor, who is the authority person, tells the employee to do something, otherwise I will punish you, and then also tells them you are doing it for your own benefit. That's a double bind. What's a grief? Loss of someone. What's a burden? Burdens are generally coming out of guilt or responsibility. And burdens are generally, they are shouldered. They are carrying them with them. Attachment, while it is a string attached to something, burden, it is something which they're carrying with them. It can be an internal burden. It can be an external burden. A double bind is when the attachments at both ends cannot, they can be, none of us can open it. Even if I want it, I cannot open it. And that's painful. That's painful. A child is so dependent on the mother. An employee, because he has EMIs to pay, he is so dependent on the supervisor's maybe support that they are not able to protest. That's when double bind gets on. And accepting this are parts of letting go. It might be painful, it might not be. But let me come to this Kubler-Ross cycle of grief management. Now, there, if you see, there are 6 parts of this cycle. In some, we show 5. The first one is denial. We deny it cannot happen to me. I'm sorry, it cannot happen to me. The impact is huge, maybe. The first day when the husband tells the wife, I'm not going to live with you. The first day of losing someone. Someone's parent dies, passes away. The next morning without the parent is something which is a day of shock. Today, my father, my parents will not be there to support me. And all of us have gone through most of us rather, have gone through this shock. Shock is inevitable in life. A part of it stays with us in our hearts every day, every moment. Now that's the denial. And I will not move. It cannot happen to me. He's still there. He's living in my heart. He's living there. Where can I see him? Can you take me there? Right? And you communicate. You lose communication with yourself. The second, when you realize he's not going to come back, she's not going to come back. Oh my God, it's the breakup. 15 years we have been together, and today my Krishna has gone. My Radha has left me. I had the light and the shadow. The light is there no more, and I'm only with the shadow. I'm only with the darkness. And then several advices come to us. We talk to ourselves. Internal dialogues happen. And that's the frustration when it builds up. And when there is frustration for a long time, there is depression. What is depression metaphorically? Depression means something suppresses you. There is something on you. Metaphorically, if you look at letting go, attachment are strings attached. Hurts are someone, there is penetration of an external object into your body which you are carrying with you, or you are bleeding metaphorically. Someone has ripped open your heart. Someone has torn you into parts. Depression is something that is suppressing you. When there is anger, fear, when can I get rid of this? Anger on the person who has left us. Anger on the substance which has left us. Anger on the relationship which has left us. And then we learn to stay with it. 15 days have passed without this. I have still living with it. Awesome. Great. Can I live? Is there any other things that I do? If my Krishna has gone, can I learn the art of painting? Can I get my Krishna through the painting? She used to love to roam about, to move around, to travel. Can I travel to some places? Can I not move away from my house and stay away from the house where I was staying with her? The experiments start. The exploration starts. Then the acceptance comes. I'm giving time to myself. I'm waiting for myself. Now you see, in the neuroscience all of us are aware, since most of us are into NLP and into some kind of studies, that neuroplasticity is a boon and I should say, Ashirvad or a blessings for the humanity. Now, neuroplasticity helps us to build up neural pathway. And how does it happen? When there is understanding or thinking in a different way, when I give time to it. And then,
Pattern.
sorry, Kavita?
Breaking the pattern.
Breaking the pattern. That's right. And then breaking the pattern helps us to rebuild. I commit to certain things. And then we have acceptance. Now, what does letting go do over here? Integration or acceptance? Letting go or let go helps us to reduce the time between denial and acceptance or denial and integration. The entire process we pass through, but in a lesser time. That is what happens. Now, is it easy? Is it difficult? I don't know. In some cases, it is easy. In some cases, it is difficult. When I lost my dog, he passed away on the same day as my birthday while I was going to cut the cake. And at the same time, almost 5 minutes before cutting the cake, he passed away. And we had to carry him to the grave, to the hospital, and that to the grave on the same day. When my father passed away, it was Mahalaya. It was raining very heavily. And I thought there is thunderstorm inside. And then I learned to live with it. I learned to live without my doggy Toffee. Now that's how life is. But the challenge is how fast the transition from denial to acceptance will happen. How long will I be depressed, frustrated, live in anger? And to let you know, we have a depression cycle. So there is depression cycle also, which we can deliberate on some other day. So if you see the patterns, there is a time structure to everything. There's a time structure. Guilt, shame is in the past. Anxiety is for the future. Anger and rage is in the present, but they're all related with each other. And letting go of the past helps us in the present and hence in the future. When in the present, when we delve into the past, either we remember something which we recall, or we construct something from the same incident and create our own imagination and extrapolate to the future. The entire science of acceptance and letting go is dealing with shadows. But Kubler-Ross, I will again put it here. And if there is any question or any discussion, you're welcome. You are welcome. What Dr. Purni said, what you resist persists. When I'm in denial, resistance is there and the pain will persist. Some people believe holding on and hanging in, there are signs of great strength. However, there are times when it takes much more strength to know when to let go and then do it. There are good things. Pain is good to be attached to if it is helping you. Suffering is good to be attached to if it's helping you. But is it? For how long? So in metaphors of movement, or in this practice of metaphors, we ask the person who is carrying the burden, how long are you going to carry it? Ask this question to yourself. Ask this question to yourself, friend. How long am I going to carry it? Am I going to carry it forever? And where am I carrying it? You would be surprised and maybe amazed also when this question is being asked for people who carrying the burdens of the attachment, how long you are going to be attached to it. They say till the life end. And how long are you going to carry this burden? Till the grave. Burdens are very difficult to be kept down. Many therapists, many coaches, they suggest that let the burdens be kept down. Burdens cannot be kept down. It's very difficult. And keeping down burdens can create more hurts, more pain. Any questions till now?
Dada, I have a question about this, what you just said, putting down burdens and
Yeah.
like if we try to put down the burdens consciously, won't it create more difficulties? Because every minute I'm trying to do it consciously, but if it comes naturally to me, then I think it's a healing process.
When you are talking about it as a burden, it will always be suffering. The moment you take it, say for example, I have to look after my aged parents. Now, is it a burden? Is that responsibilities are burdens? No. Responsibilities are taken as burdens. Whenever you think it as a burden, there is heaviness. The moment, that's why the burden is not to be carried, or to be carried has to be decided by you. Responsibility, yes, till my parents are there. Burdens, yes or no is a choice.
But Dada, ekhane, like responsibilities will only become burden when you find difficulty, or when you are in a state where taking the responsibility or living the responsibility becomes difficult for you for whatever reasons.
What is difficult is very, very relative. And is the difficulty, is the difficulty or burden, or the difficulty or responsibility? That's the question.
Yes. So burden, letting go of burden will become a little
You can
difficult.
still carry on the responsibility without the burden.
Yeah. That is what I wanted to get clarified.
Yeah, you can still continue with the responsibility without the burden. When I raised my children, I expected them to look after me. They're not looking after me. I'm a burden to them. Why do parents say that? That's an inner feeling. So they are thinking that they are on the top of their children, sitting on the top of their children, and the children are carrying them. And when someone is carrying you, whom are you dependent on? The person who is carrying you, because you will go wherever he goes. So that has to be metaphorically and philosophically understood, the entire process. Probably that helps in letting go. And if you see, when it says, whatever you resist persists. And what happens is, you are filling up hot air in the balloon. You want it to fly. Now, what can keep it down? Sandbags can keep it down. What are the sandbags? So I was just reading a book. It's an excellent book to read. Think Again. I suggest you read this book. So there was a case when, fire climbers. Fire climbers are people who fight fire. When there are forest fires, they come in parachutes, they drop in, and they want to put off the fire. In one of those cases, the firefighters, when they reached there, they found that the rage of the fire is moving towards them. It's another 500 meters. Now, how do they save themselves? Many of them died. Most of them who died were carrying their equipments with them. They did not put them down. Because for a firefighter, putting the equipments down on the ground and leaving them is pathetic. They cannot accept it. This is what happens with us every day. There are some burdens we carry and we don't want to keep them down because we want to carry it with us consciously or unconsciously. And that creates the problem, because any burden, any attachment, it restricts your movement. Whether you reach your goal or not, now let's get into this activity. What are the things that helps us to move forward, or how do we reach the goal? When do we reach the goal? What are the things to be considered for reaching the goal? Can anyone suggest? Suppose you have a goal. What are the things? You have an outcome in mind. You have an outcome in mind.
You mean evidence?
No, you have an outcome in mind. You want to reach there.
Actions.
Strategies, timelines, and
Timeline.
what
Okay.
Okay. What else?
Actions, Parthuda. We
The
have to
first thing
take
is
an-
direction.
Proper planning.
The first thing is direction. If you have to reach from here from Kolkata to Mumbai, you have to first decide that you will be traveling to Mumbai, right? If you have 5 days to travel there, the mode of travel will be different than if you have to reach there in the next 5 hours. That will decide on what will you travel in the flight or the train or a bus or by walking. And how fast you want to move there. There are 4 things while reaching there, any direction. Direction, where I'm going, distance, mode of travel, and speed of travel. If either of them is not known, the outcome will not be clear.
Clarity, what you want exactly.
Yeah. So these 4 things, otherwise you will be stuck. Stuckness comes if any of this is missing. And now you interpret in the way you want to. Right? Any questions? Before I move into, this is just, I want to touch upon it. Not that I would deal with it, but Carl Jung, in his philosophy, in his psychology, in his theory, he suggested that, the personality of any person is made of ego, personal consciousness, and collective unconsciousness. Personal unconsciousness and collective unconsciousness. And there, in the collective unconsciousness, he talks of archetypes. Archetypes means he believed that a person, when he is born, that 1 minute, 1 second old baby is not a clean slate. He brings in the experiences, the sharings of the million years of human life. And those are called archetypes. One of the archetypes is shadow. Someone mentioned the unfulfilled needs. I think Kavita mentioned the unfulfilled needs. Now, these unfulfilled needs, you do not know what are unfulfilled. You do not know what your hidden desires are. You do not know what your hidden wants are. And this shadow is something, if you are consciously aware of the shadow, you will be able to let go of it faster. The shadow travels with you, and you would not even know about your shadow. Just think of it. On a sunny day, if you are walking, or on a light room, when you are sitting, you don't know where shadow is. The moment you look at your shadow, you might be playing with it, right? I have seen dogs play with the shadow. They run. They don't know what the shadow is. They move round and round. It happens in our human mind also. We move around the shadows. We move around the unconscious shadow, the darkness that we have. Delving into it, finding it out is a good way out. And before I end, there is a step. There are 5 steps. The first one is think of what you would want to work with. The second is invite your former self, the self who is carrying the attachment or carrying the burden, the unwanted burden or unwanted attachment. Speak with your former self. In NLP, we call it perceptual positions. In Gestalt, we call it empty chair. If you're not aware of the process, don't worry. Talk to someone who can help you out. Speak with the former self. The most important part is acknowledge that there is a challenge. Acknowledge that you need to work with it. And finally, integrate or accept. Aditi, can you please go on mute? I will mute you. And then you accept it or integrate it. This is the process. Next week, Sunday, I will be again joining at 10 a.m., right, to work on the shadow work and to talk about archetypes. What are archetypes?
Dada, next Sunday can't be done on a Saturday morning or Sunday,
It will be Sundays.
a little late afternoon.
It will be Sundays at 10 a.m. and the recordings will be there, Shaunchari. You can have a look at it.
Okay, Dada.
Yeah.
No problem.
So we will work on that way. And finally, what you need to do, I will tell you, think again. Just think again. Thinking again has helped 30% of the examiners to pass their exams, because what they thought was the right answer, they found it to be wrong and they corrected it. Similarly, when you think again, there will be moments when you will think that this action is not right. This attachment is not right. This hurt is unnecessary. This is a hurt to me. Whether it's a hurt, attachment, or burden to you is your choice. And you have a choice. And even not having a choice is also a choice. You might decide not to have a choice or decide to have a choice and then work on it. Letting go has been a process, will be a process, and we'll keep on letting go. It is important. What do we let go? Do we reach the outcomes faster? And do we have the direction? Do we know the distance? Do we know the mode of travel? Do we know the speed of travel? That's from my end. If there is any questions that you have or anything that you want to share, please open up, please share. That would be good for me and for all of us.
Sir, I want to say something. This is Radha. That
Yes,
attachment, I'm talking about the burden, whether it is a burden for me, any activity, any action, any responsibility, or I call it responsibility, but I think it as a burden, which is unintentional or intentional. I think the entire thing is a mindset. I have to.
Mindset.
Yeah.
Everything is mindset.
It's a mindset. If I love to be serve my parents, I don't think that is my burden.
Correct.
I will enjoy every bit of it.
Absolutely.
If I have to stand in a queue to get the medicines for my father or mother, and I have a severe backache, spondylosis, so it's difficult for me, but there is no other way. Because budget is a constraint and my father wants the medicines to be collected from that shop, whereas there is a queue of 50 people standing, I will enjoy that.
Absolutely. Or it might be a burden, and it's okay sometimes to feel a burden. It all depends how long are you carrying it? Where are you carrying it?
You said, no, sir, that you have to intentionally or unintentionally, this is my responsibility. So this is what I think everything is in my mind, my thoughts, how I guide that.
Everything is your mind and thought.
So this topic is awesome in terms of managing my attachments. How long I can, and it is connected to the expectations too. I'm attached to any habit. So I'm expecting that thing. I'm a smoker, I cannot give up. So I'm a mobile, I have a strong mobile addiction, I cannot give up. I can understand. I'm hurt from a particular person, but I'm very attached. I love the company and spending time with that person, it's hurting me bad because that person is ignoring me. Again, it is.
Radha, one more thing which I would tell you, and this is interesting. This is interesting, right? If someone is stabbed you from the back, it is you who were leading, you were in front and they were behind. And if you see, if the pattern is people stab me from the back, then the chances are you are always leading and people are always behind you.
No,
if
sir.
Someone has, hold on. If someone has given you a fist and broken your nose, metaphorically, which means it is face to face, you know the person, you have seen the person while it is hitting.
Yes.
Metaphorically, it all depends what types of hurts you are. And that's a totally another subject, right? Another totally different picture that we can discuss. Burdens. Attachments can be attached to burdens, but those burdens are on the ground. There are some burdens that we carry. There are some burdens which are strapped to us. Maybe it's a bag that I'm carrying on my shoulders. It is to me. There is a burden which I'm carrying on my shoulders, which is not strapped to me. It is my choice. There is an attachment on which a rock is attached, which is a burden. There is a attachment with which a small stone is attached. I can break away from the stone and take away the stone, bring it in front of me and throw it away.
Correct.
There are different types of burdens. It is all about the choice, and understanding what it is for me is most important. What I just explained to you is a tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
There are different types of burdens. There are different types of attachments.
True, sir.
It is good to stay with attachments. It is not bad. Involuntary attachments are difficult to break. Voluntary attachments are easier to break. Involuntary attachments give us life. Involuntary attachments give us death. Don't think. So any anger can come out something. Don't think that you will drink poison and expect the other person to die.
Correct. Very true.
I have got this much work with me. I cannot do this. It's a burden for me. You want to carry it to the grave? Please carry it. You want to accept it and put the burden somewhere else? Move with the burden. Go with the responsibility. Do it.
Correct.
Free to dance. You're free to walk. You're free to get stuck. Krishna never told Radha, love me. Radha never told Krishna, love me. That's the anima and the animus. That's the archetype that we talk about. The Krishna in Radha and the Radha in Krishna. Is that an attachment? Is that a burden?
It is much beyond, sir.
Nothing is beyond. So the purpose of this Sunday calls, I was doing it for the Kolkata chapter of MOC. I thought,
wonderful, sir.
And I thought that let me extend to others also. And then I decided every Sunday, 8 o'clock, Mind Vantage used to have a session, but now I will have a session at 10 a.m. And if it helps, join. Otherwise, there will be recording. Go through it. If it helps, I will be happy. If it does not, come back to me and say what is that you want. We can discuss and take it forward. Krishanu and me, we are working on different ventures. We will work it out. Yes, Sharmishta. The last question. Anyone has a question? Just raise your hand after Sharmishta. Otherwise, we will close and we will leave. Yeah. Yes.
Partha, from whatever we have discussed today and whatever, light that you have thrown on the issue of shadow working, I feel that involuntary attachments are more in relationships, which are of a very intimate nature, as in blood relationships with parents, with children. So no matter, how hard you may try to, sort of avoid or whatever, if you think it's not a burden, the responsibility stays on. And voluntary relationships or burdens or responsibilities are those which are self-made. Like I decide to marry somebody or somebody decides to marry me. All right, so that is a voluntary relationship.
It becomes involuntary when the baby is born.
Point comes, and there are points that come where, it is not working any longer. So, yeah, yes.
The voluntary will become involuntary.
So that is why, yes. I got you. Yes. So that is what I understood by this discussion about voluntary and involuntary relationships and the associated responsibilities / burdens attached to those.
Thank you. Right. Wonderfully summarized. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. See you again. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Partha. Awesome session.
Thank you, everybody. Have a very nice Sunday.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Partha.